Hello everyone, Agion here, another great Goo Replay. Spawn on the north side as the beta player, we have Free. Spawn on the south side as the human player, we have Parture. Such a headache. I'm not exactly sure what he's meaning by such a headache. Perhaps we've been fighting against each other for quite a bit. This is, I believe, not from the community tournament. This is from the replay tab in the main menu you can get. Either way, here we are. We have a triple refinery opener. We have, looks like a factory opener. Looks like he's going to get some commandos. Looks like for some harassment and immediately to a hangar and an air attachment. He's going to go for the warbird rush. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward just a little bit just to get this game a little bit going. The rush won't come. This rush won't come out for about another minute or so. Because the first warbird is now being built. A very good timing, I should say. I'll say that's all luck. He has spotted it out. Apparently, he has gotten stopped the third refinery. Went ahead and got two factory and two attachments, an air and artillery. Interesting idea of the artillery. Wait, is he going to go for a summit for the scythes? Looks like it's going to be a fighter base play. Wasted one shot on the building. He needs to make sure keep patrolling around. Needs to make sure he does not fire anything that's not harvester. Two missiles will destroy it, which will help significantly reduce the economy. And I suppose with losing that one shot is not a big deal since he can only take up at most two harvesters. Nope, doesn't get a good angle. Nope, he decides not to. This engagement distance very short. First, he has to get the targetings up there. This was the only one that's long enough. He can't get the harvesters. So that's actually probably a good idea. He did not waste shots on these because by the time they get in the extractor and they come out, they'll be back up to full health. The anti-air sentinel is now up. Dude got the second refinery up, so his economy is fine. And getting with those two harvesters, he basically delayed his opponent's economy. Not all too much has happened, but he forced more so they actually forced the response of the anti-air sentinel, the air attachment, strange enough, the artillery attachment. So we may see some aircraft-based play by the human player because he went for artillery attachment incredibly early. We also got these commandos here, which will deny any scoutings. We do got the longbow now out. If he loses it, it's not all. No, he went for a second warbird. I would say the first warbird was more than enough, and then once he loses that warbird, just sell off the structure. There's nothing much he can do with that second warbird right now because he hits all the anti-air sentinel. His opponent should be going for the longbows can attack ground targets relatively soon, I would imagine, but apparently not. We got a fourth refinery along the way. We do got third refinery is almost complete, and the third refinery is almost complete. The fourth refinery has just now started, so the economies are relatively similar. Of course, while Free does have his economy slightly behind, he has much better map presence. Looks like those two revolvers may have gone forward. One of the commandos is missing, the others are damaged, so perhaps those two revolvers move forward, granting to the commandos clean them up. So we've got another Ford refining location right here. There's some rocks, so it'll be hard for him to defend it in case if he does get attacked from this direction. But of course, it would result in a nice flank. Commandos will pick off one of these revolvers. You know, this force should clean up. This force is already damaged, and plus, commandos are quite cheap. We got a longbow. Ooh, loses one of the longbow, or one of the warbirds. This revolver just managed to survive. The warbird could have got a couple shots in right there, but there's plenty of longbows in the area, so these warbirds' days are numbered. A couple small hubs. I saw a couple explosions there. We got a very defensive wall position, perhaps for a predator or commando. Guardian? I really want to see somebody use guardians. We got a huge line of factories coming in. Looks like artillery, so it looks like two for hailstorms. 2 tanks, so it looks like 2 for predators, and 2 regular factories here for either stalker or commandos. You see a large factory coming out. We don't see any air pads. Looks like aircraft are not an option. We do got the longbow target ground upgrade because he probably knows that. That's a bit interesting. I think that's from the previous run. The longbow, oh, he's on top of the high ground, so the longbow could not engage that. Here, yeah, here we go. He's going to destroy the destroyable debris. Of course, it will take a bit of time because with 3,000 health, even with 0 armor, it just takes quite a bit of time to remove. Once he loses that warbird, he needs to sell off the air. Oh, he's actually going to get a couple Stratus. That's actually a good usage for the hangar right now, because warbird's not going to do any more effect. Plus, it doesn't have an air attachment. I suppose it's on the high ground. Probably should be fine if he starts firing. We'll destroy one of the longbows, which may force his opponent to build some more longbows. Yeah, he does actually have a factory designated for longbow production now. We do also have a couple monitors now coming out, just probably for scouting out. In the resource tab, let's see how many. Looks like Free is a little behind. Parture has maintained a bit of a better economy, but overall, this minor variance is, while it does have some impact, it's quite negligible at the moment. Because he's going to clean up the destroyable debris a bit quicker than, in fact, Parture is, it seems like. Well, it's because he has more units firing, and Predators do have a pretty good DPS. Looks like we are going to see a couple upgrades. We do got the Predator individual shots instead of the DPS doesn't change, but has of course less burst. So without the upgrade, the initial engagement's better, but during the longer engagements, the individual targeting is better. Hailstorms can move and shoot. That's also a very powerful upgrade. Looks like that warbird is going to get cleaned up. The monitor did reveal it. Now probably a good time for the hangar to be sold. Looks like it's going to infinite Q Stratus. A bit unusual. This extractor will get cleaned up by the stalkers. In fact, I don't think he will spot any of the predators or hailstorms, so he'll maintain that bit of advantage. He could go straight for the high ground and avoid the bush. He must got a good feeling that it's going to be units in the bush, especially when units come out of the bush. Then he knows it's units in the bush. In this engagement, the beta players should actually win this, but using these extractors and all that to soak up some shots is very nice. But there's just actually a bit too much force for the beta forces. Overall, it's going to be a relatively even trade. Hailstorm's doing a good amount of AoE damage. The units are quite spread out, however. You got some howitzer production. 3 howitzers, of course, much stronger than 2 hailstorms. Does build a wall segment up there. The Predators could not manage to garrison, but will soak up shots, allowing the hailstorms to get some good amount of free damage. We got a nice flanking force over here. Needs to start running in. The Predators need to move and keep moving. Trying to stutter step, but the Predators can move and shoot, so it's best if you keep those on 2 separate tabs. Hailstorms just doing howitzers. I mean, just doing so much damage because they're standing still for so long. Though he did manage to eliminate that refinery, increasing the reducing the economy. We got some reinforcements being built. Forward staging area with all these factories, small hubs with tank, and looks like only 6 factories, 2 of them with tanks. Economy is currently at minus quite a bit, so he may not be able to afford it. He does have a total of plus 11. Got a huge barrage coming in. There's a significant amount of howitzer over here, so he's going to need something to remove them. We got the monitor over here, it's spawning the Stratus on top of the ridge. Looks like we got a Hailstorm Barrage coming in, doing some amount of damage, but Howitzers are just inherently better. But thanks to the move and shoot upgrade, mixed along with Predators rather than Stalkers, you can just start keeping your army on the move. But of course, if you target the group of army, the rear ones will get hit. Hunters now have Stealth, so now they're very hard to remove, and most likely his strategies will be null and void in the time future. We got a nice blocking force against these forces. The Hailstorms will get cleaned up. In fact, these forces entirely will get cleaned up. The Vita player just needs more and more economy. He's trying to send out these flanking forces, starting to spread out his opponent's army. Looks like this refining location has been cleaned up by this small force here. Didn't see that. These howitzers maybe get cleaned up because these got a couple stalkers now coming in. This force is just being barraged. There's so many howitzers. Howitzers, of course, I believe do have greater range in AoE. It has less rate of fire. Has zero penetration, 6 rate of fire, and 100 AoE radius, and 900 range. Hailstorms have a rate of fire of 5, so it is faster, but a bit weaker by 3 damage. A radius, actually much larger, 125. And we do got a massive force being engaged over here, but the howitzers just slowly picking away the beta force. Looks like a lot of expansions coming out over here, so overall the resource tab is in fact favor of the beta player free. And these howitzers being so spread apart, they're getting cleaned up by these smaller forces. But the fact that howitzers do 23 damage and the much less healthier forces of the beta player, they get cleaned up quite quickly versus the howitzers, while they do have a slower rate of fire and less AoE radius. But they do have a bit more range, which is quite critical when it comes to these howitzer fights. Having additional 12.5%, well, yeah, 12.5% range is quite significant, which makes them inherently better, even though they have less fighting capabilities against groups of enemies than Hailstorms. Just a couple of these Hailstorms will get cleaned up. More and more forces are engaging. Hailstorms are now... There's a huge group here, and they're just doing quite a bit of AoE damage. These harvesters actually getting cleaned up, which means that he's denying a significant amount of economy. Parture's actually in the back foot while he's been engaging some very cost-effective trades overall. He's just losing so much ground. You got a line of wall segments coming up. The wall segments will allow some good hard points for predators. There's a good defensive line here, but he's just being outproduced in total due to the fact that he's losing so much harvesters. In fact, in this short amount of time, he's losing economic disparity is greatly increasing. But thanks to the very good trades and the high ground advantage, it looks like actually a couple of these howitzers are starting to be cleaned up. More and more of these small units, such as the tridents and revolvers coming in, getting cleaned up, picked off. You could, ooh, we got the stealth upgrade for the, or what's it called, the stalkers, and we also going to get the Stratus beacon. That's not exactly greatest of all the upgrades. We got some more forces over here. Looks like a couple of tractors are going to be sieged up over here, so he's starting to lose more and more economy. He doesn't have the field presence as his opponent, so it looks like Parture is going to actually lose this game while engaging very cost-effective engagements with these howitzers. those houses have been firing non-stop. Over here, he's losing economy. Down here with these extractors being cleaned up, he's losing economy. Another extractor goes down, which tightens the noose around Parture. The economic disparity is much greater right now in favor of Free. And it shows you losing this economy like this can be quite devastating. He's starting to break out of this containment right here, which will help reestablish the economy down to these extractors here. But we do got a force here to clean up. Severely damaged, but that's all he needs. He's starting to break out. Revolvers do have quite a bit of punch versus the Predators, but these Hailstorms make quick work of these small unit sizes. Nice barrage right there. And Stratus is now applying beacons, which will help give vision up in the high ground, allowing to pick them off one by one. And more units just going to stream on in. His economy is much more spread out than Parture's, because all the Parture's is focused around these this Catalyst area here. Quite a number. I mean, the Howlers are doing quite a good amount of work, but he's just losing too much economy. These Howlers have been constantly firing. They have not stopped firing. If there's veterans in these games, these guys will probably be all heroic. Looks like these Howlers are starting to be cleaned up. Looks like a big charge for it by these Predators. Predators are starting to lose proper targeting through those mines, but luckily with the individual targeting, they don't fire the entire volley. Howlers are starting to get cleaned up. Looks like this is going to spell the end of the replay, thanks to end of the game, due to the fact that these Howlers are being cleaned up one by one. Though now they're funneled into the central area, more and more these reinforcing Howitzers can clean them up. We lost a significant amount of Howitzers. And this catalyst field is going to get dried up so quickly with all these extractors. In fact, he's also lost all these extractors, so there's less and less room for him to actually place them down. I believe not all of them placed down. Oh, this catalyst field's almost dry, so he's going to starve out his opponent. We've got more and more extractors over here, but the harvesters are getting cleaned up. The extractors are going to get eliminated. If you check the economic disparity, it's now a 7,000 difference. This disparity is greatly increasing just at a very quick rate. More and more reinforcements are coming forward. And these stalkers can just walk up. I don't believe there's any stealth detection nearby to reveal them, so they can walk up, pick off a couple howitzers before they get cleaned up. Quite really cost effective, really, these howitzers, but those are now howitzers going to get cleaned up. They will be instantly ripped apart by these sniper stalkers. And the catalyst is starting to run dry for Parture. Up here, it looks like we do got to push, trying to save this his economy up north, which is a good idea. But these hailstorms are just doing so much AoE damage, and plus we've got a Predator on the wall segment, which is a very powerful turret. Looks like we do got a thrust forward, and the howitzers are cleaned up. The economic line in this forward area is about ready to dry up. Man, my computer is actually lagging quite a bit. Hopefully the recording is fine, however. The population difference is cut in half in comparison. Like, Parture is down by half. He's starting to get some reinforcements. This force was overall cleaned up by the reinforcing revolvers, but we just got more and more stalkers. This cattle field's starting to dry up. When this dry up, that's instant game over. Even got some forward hangars on a small hub. Produce a lot of stratus? I don't know. Taliters are getting just streamed in one by one up the high ground. They're get cleaned up. He's just in a rally move upon exiting the factories. This is just game over. The resource disparity is significantly greater at the moment. Couple defensive structures as anti-heavy sentinels are here, but when he starts losing refining, you start losing the game. Got a huge wave of howitzers still, but this is just the end of the replay. Parture should be soon casting the towel, and overall it's a pretty good replay. It shows that while the Parture has significant cost-effective upgrades, he wasn't gaining any ground. He wasn't setting up as much fighting. He wasn't harassing the economy. Those warbirds, they paid for themselves in the early game. They didn't do all, in my opinion, all too great. Almost all their findings not cleaned up. This is the end of the replay, and I'm not sure why my computer is so laggy. It seems like hopefully the recording's fine, but it just seems like this is quite laggy for me. I do have a bit of a cold at the moment, so my voice may sound a bit sick. But either way, this is the end of the replay. This is Agion saying thank you for watching and signing off.